key in all of this, you know, the disenfranchisement of ordinary people is the waves and waves of illegal migration hitting the UK. We watch it in Australia. We know it can be stopped. But I get the sense that Britain doesn't think it can get control of its borders again. I mean, can it get its borders back under control?
We can, and we've seen what Australia did. I met Tony Abbott on several occasions talking about his successful policies to get control of immigration in Australia. But there is not the political will to do it in Britain, because we will have to dismantle a lot of our laws, like the Human Rights Act that Tony Blair brought in and Keir Starmer.
Because of her courage and determination to defy the party line, Liz Truss has long remained a controversial figure in British politics. But what happened at the recent public confrontation with Keir Starmer shocked the entire political arena. An ordinary live television conversation instantly turned into a shocking revelation that could overturn public opinion about the leader of the Labour Party. What made Truss make such bold statements about Starmer? Before we continue, if you liked our video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free, and your support is very important to us. Now back to the video. Although political dramas have always been a part of British life, recent years have been particularly turbulent and tense.
We'll have to dismantle those laws that essentially give more rights to people who are entering our country than people who are living in our country. And the problem is that the political class do not want to acknowledge how bad things are. And ordinary people across Britain see how bad things are. They can see that we don't have control of the boats. They can see that the borders in Britain are porous. But it will take a huge push to actually change that human rights legislation that has now been in since the 1990s, and that is what we need to do. And I think pressure in Britain is building for that. You'll have seen at the election, Nigel Farage and Reform got a large vote because people are frustrated.
The British are tired of politicians who seem to care more about their own well-being and maintaining power than about solving pressing problems, which is clearly evident in the context of Brexit and the leadership crisis. Unlike in the 70s, when strong trade unions fought for workers' rights, now we are faced with a powerful bureaucracy that actually governs the country. The Bank of England, the Office of Budget Responsibility. I know what I'm talking about, because I worked there myself. It is these people who dictate policy, and until we take control away from them and start demanding responsibility from politicians, the situation will not change. In her first significant public appearance since her resignation, Truss boldly voiced, in her words, extremely disturbing facts about Starmer's leadership and behaviour. But Liz Truss was ready for harsh criticism and compromising accusations. And it wasn't just another interview, it was a real battle in the political arena.
Do you actually regard the current Conservative Party as being conservative?
Well, I'd like them to be more conservative. They're definitely more conservative than the Labour Party, which are desperate to kowtow to the global left, desperate to give in to the eco-extremists, desperate to have more immigration into Britain. But I would like to see the Conservative Party taking a stronger stance, and in particular, being prepared to change the system, because what I found as a minister and as Prime Minister, that too often, much of the power that was meant to lie in our hands actually lay with unelected bureaucrats, and it became impossible to get things done. So I want to see a Conservative Party that's actually prepared to challenge the status quo, prepared to challenge the system in order to deliver the Conservative policies that I want to see.
Unfortunately, Liz Truss was unable to complete her term as Prime Minister, although she had a unique opportunity to make a difference both for her party and for the whole country. She showed more courage than many of the men in her party, and it's really impressive. Truss openly criticised Keir Starmer, calling him the most dangerous man in Britain, and this statement seems to have shaken him up a lot. In response to her words, a real storm of reactions broke out. Some vehemently accused Truss of organising a smear campaign. Others admired her courage and determination. But one thing was clear: Starmer was suddenly on the defensive, and Truss had regained her political prominence. Recently, when I read the shocking news about Keir Starmer and his relationship with a homosexual, I was simply amazed.
Mr. Speaker, I have been very clear that I am sorry and that I have made mistakes. But the right thing to do in those circumstances is to make changes, which I've made, and to get on with the job and deliver for the British people.
The country's got nothing to show for it except the destruction of the economy and the implosion of the Tory party. I've got the list here. 45p tax cut, gone. Corporation tax cut, gone. 20p tax cut, gone. 2-year energy freeze, gone. Tax-free shopping, gone. Economic credibility, gone.
Mr. Speaker, I am a fighter and not a quitter.
This only confirms that our country is in a terrible state. I was watching the news on Channel 4 last night, and when I got to the 40th minute, I wondered if they were finally going to mention that Keir Starmer was under arrest. Lord Ally and the revelations emanating from his $18 million penthouse are becoming more and more scandalous and perplexing. Truss's statement that Keir Starmer had a secret affair when he was leader of the opposition was a real explosion in the political space. She claimed that this affair could have subjected him to blackmail and questioned his moral qualities. This is not just an accusation, it is an attack on the very essence of Starmer's carefully built reputation as a morally impeccable leader. If this statement turns out to be true, his reputation among voters and within the Labour Party could be destroyed, and this would be a real disaster for his career.
I got a letter this week from a Tory voter in a Labour seat. I hope they don't mind me saying who it was. It was Liz Truss. Mr. Speaker, it wasn't written in green ink, but it might as well have been. She was complaining that saying she'd crashed the economy was damaging her reputation. It was actually crashing the economy that damaged her reputation.
A real storm of controversy broke out on social media, both in support of and against Cyrus Starmer. Many began to seriously doubt the accusations made by Liz Truss. For many, this was a shocking moment of realization. Was Starmer hiding something else? Truss left the public on edge by intriguingly hinting that new, possibly sensational, facts would soon be revealed. Observers noticed that Starmer's usually calm manner suddenly looked anxious and uncertain. Is this the beginning of his political collapse, or did Truss just take advantage of the public's thirst for scandals? How will this affect politics in the UK? Liz Truss is not just a politician, but a person with an outstanding mind and principles that truly put the rights of British citizens first. Her administration followed a clear course, and her departure from the post of Prime Minister was a real disaster for the country. It is not surprising that she was not given the right opportunity, because her insight, sincerity and intelligence were too great for the establishment, which prefers to remain in the shadows, to cope with them.
A book is being written about the Prime Minister's time in office. Apparently, it's going to be out by Christmas. Is that the release date or the title?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I have been in office for just under 2 months, and I have delivered the energy price guarantee.
The Labour Party, desperate to please the global left, seeks to please eco-extremists and increase immigration to Britain. During her first interview since Rishi Sunak's return to the post of Prime Minister, Truss raised several key issues, including harsh criticism of the current administration. She was not shy about criticising Starmer's opposition for restricting freedom of expression and enthusiastically supported Elon Musk's efforts to protect fundamental human rights around the world. Truss stressed that Starmer's decision to stand up to such an influential man as Musk would never have brought positive results to him or the country. This statement has become a real challenge that can change the course of the political game. See you later.